So now let's test some of the more sophisticated methods. And when I say that, these methods really aren't that sophisticated. Okay, none of these methods are really that sophisticated. So let's see, we've got GetAge right here. So let's test GetAge. So let's write that. Let's test GetAge. Assert equals. So let's see, I want to test Fred's age. So Fred was born in 1980 on June 20th. Today's date is October 2nd, 2015. So that means Fred should be 35 years old. So I'm going to say 35 Fred dot get age. And likewise, Jane was born in the summer of 1990, so it looks like Jane should be 25 years old. All right, so let's run this test now. Okay, and that test passes too. Let's just make sure. We got all these tests passing. Let's just make sure, convince ourselves. Let's make Fred 34 and Jane 26. And let's make sure these tests fail. Okay, yeah, GetAge fails. So, and down here you can see that it expected 34, but in actuality, Fred was 35. Okay, and notice also that basically it stopped when this assertion failed. Okay, so it didn't try to even test for Jane at this point. Okay, so you can see if I change this to 35 and run that test, now it's Jane's test that has failed. Okay, so if I click on that, this is the assertion that failed. Okay, expected 26, but in actuality it was 25. Well, we know it should be 25. So there is a bit of a problem with this test. The problem is when we write unit tests, we usually write them to be executed, to be run several times. So in other words, if we would do some maintenance to a system with a person class in it, we want to run the unit tests again to make sure that the person class doesn't break. That's called a regression test. All right, so what we'd like to have here is we'd like to have a test that is not only true now, but is true in the future too. And that's a problem with the GetAge, because GetAge depends on today's date. And you go far enough into the future and Fred is going to be 36. Okay, so this class will fail after that. You know, so you have to take into consideration you know, how long you'll be into production, but you also have to take into consideration that the software needs to be maintained, and people could be using these tests you know, over a year down the road. What I'm going to do here, just because I don't want this to fail a year down the road, is I'm just going to say, instead of assert equals, I'm going to relax this condition, and I'm just going to say assert true Fred.getAge is greater than or equal to 35. Okay, and I'm going to do the same for Jane. Okay, greater than or equal to 25. And that will ensure that I can use my tests somewhere down the road. This is, okay, assert equals takes two values. That's why this is complaining. Needs to be assert true. Okay, so that's .getAge. What other classes? And actually, let me go ahead and run these tests now to make sure they pass. All right, and everything passes, which is good.